Thank you for honoring me like this. God bless you and bless the church in general. Good morning, brethren. We all have gathered to worship God. As the Bible asks us to do not forsake the assemblies of the saints, as this has been the manner of many, especially now that nobody knows when it's going to be. The time is coming near from what we are seeing. According to the book of Hebrews 10:25. This morning, we are going to teach ourselves. Teaching ourselves this morning, we are going to learn from what have been put down or what have been laid down to us in the scripture, and also equate them with our physical life and physical context as well. The caption of this morning lesson comes from the availability of Father, the availability of Father's identity on His Son. But before I get to this one on the board, the availability of parent identity in a child, I want to start from the place where I borrowed what I used to make the caption. Let me start with the availability of Father's identity in His Son. When we mention Christ, our Lord and our Savior, everybody knows that His Father is our God in heaven. I'm going to come through that before we get to our own, that every child has two parents. Before this, wait first. Let me go through what I have here first. Now, our Lord Jesus Christ, at a point, He was trying to convince His followers for them to know that He was sent by His Father. And everything that He is doing is based on His Father's command, is based on the work of His Father, is based on the words of His Father. Now you going on to search for His Father, when Philip asked Him, can you show us the Father? He said, Philip, we are still asking to see the Father. Why you have seen me? But anybody that has seen me has seen the Father. And if you believe in what I'm saying, if you believe in what I'm doing, you have also believed in the Father. Because He Himself represents the identity of His Father. Now you can project it. Project it. Now, using the biblical context where Jesus said, Father is in me. Father is in me. He was referring to the complete divine union and perfect harmony shared between Him and God, the Father. We can read from the book of John, chapter 10, from verse 37. He said, do not believe me then if I am not doing the thing my Father wants me to do. But if I do them, even though you do not believe me, you should at least believe my deed, in order that you may know once and for all, that the Father is in me and that I am in the Father. Now, if you move further, you will understand that Christ is trying to represent God here on earth. Among all those followers that were following him, nobody has ever seen God with his own physical or human eyes. But seeing Christ in what he is doing, or in what he was doing then, and what he was saying then, nobody will tell you that this one is a replica of his father. And that was the reason why he made that statement. So, it's a profound teaching where Jesus trying to explain the importance of being in union with one who made him and who sent him, just as you are, one who sent you and one who made you, trying to convince the audience, his followers, about the union, the obedience, and everything concerning him and the Father. Going back to the physical context of this lesson, when we go to the physical context of this lesson, you can see a child is brought into this world or born by two individuals as parents. And it is said that these children will either resemble the father, the mother, or any of the two parent bloodline relatives or bloodlines. The resemblance will either come in physical look, like the phenotype, or behavioral character. Now, some of us here, when you bring the picture of your father, you may see yourself physically. And if your father happens to be alive, then your father will say, ah, this my son really resembles me. And your father will like you most. There's no doubt. Your father don't need DNA to know. DNA, although some of us that this time, the oxyribonucleic acid, where you will dictate your genealogy, where you come from. Your father don't need to take you to lab or anywhere to find out that this is my son. Or you are a woman, you resemble your father. You don't need somebody, don't need someone to tell you that your father is your father. Or a woman, you resemble your mother. You don't need anybody to tell you on the both sides that this is me. That is on the physical context. Now that is your phenotype, physical resemblance. Sometimes your father may be walking like this, and sometimes you see yourself while growing, you begin to walk like your father. There are some things that your father normally do, you will see it in you. Then in your body chemistry, your bloodline, your AB, your AA, your genotype, your blood group, you will see it. For further investigation, you will see it. Even the way your son is moving, or now that is on the physical aspect, biological aspect of it. Now as the child begins to grow, from the time you born that child, you will see that when a child was born, the brain of that child is empty. The brain of that child is empty. Whatever you planted inside that brain is what that brain will carry. Assuming you born that child, you are an Igbo man, you born that child, carry that child, give a Yoruba woman or Yoruba man to train for you. That child will be filled with the language of the Yorubas, the characters of the Yorubas, the cultures of the Yorubas. When a child is born with empty brain. the orientation, the teaching. The child is born without language. The child is born without manner. The child is born without skill. Now see, the growth of the child will start after birth, and the brain being empty at the early stage of life. Apart from body chemistry, which constitutes the 45th biological reference, 45th chromosome, that's what we call chromosome in a gene. During the time of conjugation, a man brought 23 chromosomes. Sorry to those who did not do science, but I'll explain. In body chemistry, you contribute 23 chromosomes. A woman contributes 23 chromosomes. Every living individual has 46 chromosomes in your body. What makes you to be who you are? Now, in this, sometimes what is in a man will appear physically. When you look at the man, the guy, he looks exactly like his father. But inside the body chemistry may be his or her mother's blood group or whatever. Now, that is what we call the genotype. Now, when the child begins to grow, this thing I said is based on biological reference, which proves that during conjugation, I've already explained it. Now, the availability of the parent identity in the child after that birth, now you begin to train that child. There are identities that you're supposed to inculcate or to fix or to put into that child by physical, psychological, cultural, and ethical principle. The way to behave, the way to talk, the manner how to behave, how to construct language, how to speak to people, your religion, the way you behave in your family. So that when that child behaves, let me tell you, the name Christians was as a result of the behavior, the character, the culture of the early Christians. That somebody look at them and saw the identity of Christ in them, and he was able to identify that these people are Christ-like. And that was why in Antioch they were given the name Christians, Christ-like. Now, how can you see someone and say, this one is the son of brother Obiagu, this son is the son of brother Darlington, this son is the son of brother Fine Country, and so many of us? Because after seeing the biological identity, the physical outlook, movement or other things, and those ones that we cannot see, the behavior of that brother must be found in his son. The behavior of that sister must be found in her daughter. Let us see how we lost our identity in our children. That is the identity I mean. You can born that child and another person will train that child. You lost your identity. Only DNA will prove that you are the owner of that child. But what you put into that child that makes that child to behave in line with your family will make people to see everywhere that child behaves, even in America. This child is talking like these people somewhere in Africa. This child is behaving like these people. They may not see your face, but your character, what your character and your family portray, your offspring will display it. That's what I mean by identity. The availability of parent identity in a child, the availability of parent identity in a child will be needed by the child right from the tender stage. At the early stage of life of a child, he or she is mannerless. That I have repeated, I've said. It's mannerless, doesn't have manner. Let me tell you, when a child play play with fire. Like me, when I was small, I normally play with fire. I normally play with lamp. And the scar of that lamp are in my body now. I used to show my children. See my stubbornness when I was dealing with lamp, and lamp was dealing with me. And some other pain and mark that I have in my body. Now, a child was playing with a burning flame, a hurricane lamp. And every time his mother used to tell him, leave that place, that is fire, that fire will burn you. That child doesn't hear. Just like me then, I play with lamp. Until lamp showed me, gave me a lot of mark. Now, until one day, that child happened to put hand inside that flame. And that flame burned his hand. And after that day, when they put flame, that child will crawl and get to there. And I'll be shouting, fire! Fire! That fire that was raging in his memory when he was small, that day before he come in contact with fire. So anytime he come closer to the fire, his mother will tell him, put hand. He said, no, fire. Put hand, fire. He will do hand like this. Yes. If you don't teach him that this is fire, your son, your daughter, your children, they will put hand inside fire and fire will burn them, and they will begin to play with fire and grow with fire. And that is why he or she is mannerless with no special language but only action and the reaction that they understand. They take action by crying and disturbing, and they react and they respond. When you beat them, stop them or give or respond to their needs. When a child needs something, that child will be crying, disturbing you. Even in occasion, people ask you, some of younger mother, they will ask you, bring out that breast. Now some of them used to hide that breast. Bring it out and give it to him now. They will be hiding it. The child will be disturbing you until you bring that right and give it to that child. And that child will keep quiet. Sometimes when they want to sleep, they will begin to disturb you. That's only the language they have then. And when they are disturbing unnecessary, then you beat them. And when they are holding your necklace, you beat them and ask them not to cut it. When they are doing what you know that is, you beat them, you tap them. By the time you do that, what they understand is action, reaction, and they respond. So that by the time you give them that food, they will respond and be quiet. They will not disturb you again. When they are hungry, they take action by crying. When you beat them not to do something, they will keep quiet and their hand will not go there again. When you put them to move your hand, they will begin to respond. And the child begins to grow. I don't know why you bring this one. I've said I'm finished with this one. Yes? Yes. Have you finished there? Go up. So what I'm trying to prove, in essence, is that a child needs parents for them to grow. And there are many advantages that we, the parents, enjoy in being identified in our children. When the child is doing well, okay. Now, this was when I was trying to explain the deep and divine union between father and mother. When we want to teach concerning on the biblical context, we mention only Jesus and his father. Now, it is obvious that God deliberately allowed Jesus to go through such suffering. But before here, you remember that in the book of Matthew chapter 26, verse 39. When Jesus Christ was about to be crucified, at a point he felt the pain. That point you will see the two sides of Jesus Christ as half human and half spirit. The pain, the cough, that is the suffering, was much on him. And he cried out. He said, Father, to me, I would have asked, let this cup pass away. Let this suffering of me be removed from me. But anyhow it is, let your will be done. Now, that was when this one followed. Now, God did not come to allow him to drop that suffering. Now, allow it to be like this of my faith. Now, at a point again, in the same book of Matthew, you will see exactly in 27 verse 46 that he shouted, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. Father, why did you forsake me? He thought that maybe his father had already forsaken him, allowing him to die without saving him. Now, it is obvious that God deliberately allowed Jesus to go through such suffering for the purpose of salvation. He did not abandon him in reality. Rather, he purposely allowed him to pass through that to achieve his aim. Now, you as a young man and as a young girl, your father is instructing you, your mother is instructing you, that they are disciplining you, they are asking you to do this, to do that. They want to fit the identity in you. They want you to be someone they want to be, whom they want you to be. Let me tell you, nobody loves you more than your father and your mother. Your wife will not love you more than your father and your mother. Your husband will never love you more than your father and your mother. The only person that pray for you to be bigger and higher than them is your mother and your father. Because when they see you progress, when they see you be at the higher level, they will see themselves that they have progressed instead of retrogression. Nobody pray that I will be bigger than my. Who is praying to be bigger than his children? Let me hear. Who wants to be bigger than his children? Let me hear you. No one. Every day you pray for your children to be better than you, to live longer than you. Nobody pray to bury his children. Everybody pray for his children to be more better. Your brother cannot pray for you to be better than him. Even in a family, sometimes woman will be struggling to get money more than the husband, so that she will be on financial control. A man is also struggling to be responsible, for him to be higher than his woman. But only parents pray for their children to be higher than them. And that is why your parents want the identity in you. Sometimes you are going with your father, this one your son, very fine man. This is how you, when you were like this is the way you look like. That is that. I enjoy that. Sometimes you see your daughter, very fine, very young, very charming. But you say, oh, this is exactly the way I look like. I remember in those days, someone wanted to marry. The time they used a picture to marry. So one of my relatives want to marry. So they always go and tell the woman, your husband is fine, very fine man. That time, some of them are in Panya, Equatorial Guinea, they don't come back. Some of them are in Cameroon. So they came and they met my father. Say, one of your brothers, where your maternal home come from. to the person that they want to marry, say that they will not marry until they see the person or his brother. So you will follow us. So that when we get there, when they look at him, we will tell them that you are his brother. So the woman will accept. That was, if you come back in line, I say, a resemblance of the relative or bloodline. So my father, they took my father to there. When the woman saw my father, she said, are you sure that the man is exactly like this? They said yes. He said, I will go, I will marry. I will go. And that was how the marriage went. Some of you that can remember the whole history, that is exactly how people marry in those days. They marry with picture or marry with somebody that resembles somebody. So who don't want his identity to be identified somewhere? So the passage of the Bible that Jesus was partially human when he was going through that. No, that his father did not want him, don't want to abandon him. His father wants him to achieve a purpose, just like you and myself. Our parents want us to achieve purpose, and that is why you must put yourself in your children. Let yourself, your character, your behavior, the history of your family, the culture of your living, your religion, everything about you positively need to be appear in your children. Otherwise, your children will be the children of other people because they will train them and fix what you don't want into them, and you will regret to have them. And when you see your son or daughter, you will hit. You will be doing your head like this. Sometimes when it goes wrong, go up. Sometimes when the desire comes to the desire of the parent. Now sometimes the desires of the parent grow negative or positive. In a positive outcome of your identity in your children, one of the two parents sometimes blame the other one. Why the other one normally take glory? When it is positive, the other one will take glory. Yes, this is my son, this is my daughter, I am the one. That is exactly my character. That is exactly the way I behave. Why the other one, when it is bad, the other one will be bullying the other or blaming them. Sometimes soliloquizing, talking within themselves, crying, hissing, shaking his head. I know you are the cause of this thing. I know. So the one will be blaming the other. But sometimes it may not be the problem of the two. Using the biblical context for John chapter 14, 8 to 10, when Jesus was telling his followers, who mandate to his, I finished this side now, go up. Go up. So parent desire. Now, in that desire, you can see a doctor may like his son to be a doctor or a nurse. But sometimes, that child may not know the movement of amoeba. They call it amoeba. Eh? Am I lying? Okay. The person may not know what we call paragyra and some other biblical meaning. He might even know what is called blood group. But his father is a medical doctor. He don't know even what the syringe means or injection means. Sometimes you see a pastor, a man of God, he may be a criminal. But every day he preaching against robbery, lying, stealing. You may see an engineer, but his son or daughter don't know how to handle screwdriver. Even they don't know the meaning of screwdriver. Sometimes the desire of the parents may not be there. No matter how they struggle. It's obvious that, oh, hello, you are not doing what I want you to do there for me. You are bringing me back. Now, I want to let you understand that in identity, we have primary and secondary identity. Primary and secondary identity of parents in a child. When you born the child at an initial stage, The biological reference proves the primary identity. Now, the psychological, physical, cultural, and some behavior, most of these identity are from the primary identity. As the child is growing to a point, there is a mixing point between the primary and secondary identity. That is where you must be very careful. At that time, your child is moving from childhood to adolescent stage. Now you will see the peer influence. Here you will meet the caregiver influence. There you will see the modeling influence. Now there you will see the media influence. There you meet the social influence. All those influential agents, all those influential mediums, all these influential points will come and begin to disturb what you put into him or her. Now, at that time, he or she will begin to find a way to assume self, to be himself or herself, to be trying to make decision on whom to follow, on certain things you want to do. Now you see a boundary. There are two boundaries. Two boundaries that are in this teaching. The first boundary is in the primary. The second boundary is in the secondary. The first boundary is when you create the first boundary in the primary, you destroy your relationship with your children. When you create boundary, you dig a very big gulf. You did not allow your children to relate with you. You bully them. You make them to understand you are a father, they're supposed to fear you. You are a mother, they're supposed to fear you. You create such enormous boundary that they will not hear the order of your mouth. They will not understand the way you behave. They will not know when you blink an eye. They will not come closer and know when you warn them with your eye blinking. Now you create a big boundary with them. For not allowing them to come closer to you, they will lose your cultural value. They will not know the way you behave. They will not know how your people look like. They will lack moral value. Now, that is the third boundary. The second boundary is when at the time of missing point between the secondary and the primary identity, there are areas you will not put hand. You never allow them to be themselves. That is the second boundary. But in another way, you must allow your identity to be closer. Because if you run away, the peer will hijack them and erase the primary identity in them. And that is why meeting point of primary and secondary identity governed by educators, by educators. Those who educate them in the school, those who educate them in the society, those who educate them in the business arena or whatever they want to be. The peer, not peers. P-E-E-R is the error in typing. The media, the social media, the models. Now, instead of them to see you as a role model, they will borrow another person's model. Now, at this point, positive and negative influence of a child will come in. Sometimes it's the making of the parents. Sometimes it may not be their fault. It is what emanated from the developing process. In developing process, you must not leave them totally. You must be there, but you will have boundary. Like, hey, I want my daughter to be a doctor, but your daughter don't have sense of anything concerning science. I want my daughter to be a lawyer, but your daughter cannot talk. He cannot even argue. I want my daughter to be a pastor, but your daughter cannot read Bible. My son cannot read Bible. You don't want them to be some other things. You allow them to choose whom they want to be. There are boundaries. I want you don't misunderstand what I mean by boundaries. Now, the vulnerability of parent identity on a child may be positive or negative. The two parents are involved, but sometimes one of the parents blame the other. I've finished this one. Identity, why? Yes, I've finished that one. No, this towards to the end. Okay. Yes. This is what. Sometimes children decide to act on their parents' desire. Yes. Sometimes they act on what you ask them to do. If they are good in it, they will excel. If they are not good in it, they say, I'm doing it because my father asked me to. I met one man where I went to work at Abia State. That was last 2 years. The man was an artist. He used to do all these signboard and signposts. They paid me a very huge amount of money for him to come and put that signboard in that company. As I was discussing with the man said, I'm a medical doctor. I said, how far? He said, I have my degree. I have my first, I have my master. Anything you have my, he said, I'm also a lawyer. I said, I went to Nigerian Bar Association and I finished. I said, I'm also an artist. I said, how do you manage to be reading all these things? He said, my father then was a lecturer. He asked me to go and read medicine. I read it. When I finished, I didn't like it. I have to buy jam again for law. After doing that law, I don't like it. But my passion, what I love in life is being an artist. And when my father did, I went back to be an artist. That's where I am. That's what I'm enjoying. Have you seen? The desire of the parents, they obeyed you and did what you asked them to do. But at the end of the day, they go back to what gives them joy. So sometimes when you find that one that is good, that will make them to be their personal self, there must be boundary. Don't too much force them, or they will remain jack of all trades, master of none. I did this, I did it, I did that, but I don't like anyone of them. I didn't master anyone. So that is why, or why them to have their own choice. They choose to do another thing different from what their parents ask them to do. Parents are medium through which a child is born into this world or brought into this world. We parents don't actually own them. Hence God made man a free moral being or free moral agent. You are free to do anything you want to do, but you must be careful. So that a man sometimes born a bad child. You see a good man, but you have a bad child. You have bad children. Why? Sometimes they fail to put their identity in their children. Sometimes they allow the mixing point to destroy what they have put into their children. That is why we must deal with them always. Don't say because my son, okay, somebody was telling me exactly what happened. It's a life story in Abuja. I went to where I went to work. He was saying, haven't you gone to social media and see what is trending? I said, what happened? He said, a guy stabbed his father to death. He said, what happened? He said, his father is residing in Lagos. His father built house in Abuja. And the guy was serving his NLIC at Abuja. Then his father went there to visit his family. Getting there in the morning, he saw his son with his friend who were coming back from club. And his son had already drunk. And the way he was behaving, the father said, why are you behaving like this? Is it the youth service that you come to serve here? Is it what I train you in the university to come and do, to be going to club? His mother said, leave him now, he's a man, it's time for him to be himself. Why are you messing him up? Why are you molesting him in the front of his friends? The guy took knife and stabbed his father 3 times. And that comes to the end of the man. Now, who killed the man? Is it not the woman? The man could not see his identity in his child. And the man reacted. And the woman intervened. Be careful in your intervention, both man and woman. Be careful in your answer. That was how the man ended. It's a true life story. It's not what you can check it, you can Google it. So be careful. So what I'm trying to put across here is this. Every child can born an unintelligent child, no matter the skill he acquire is not genetical. It is what he acquired by training. Don't think that because I'm carrying jet, my child must be. No, sometimes it doesn't happen like that. Bro. Give her basic teaching, basic understanding, basic orientation, basic learning, and you will see your child excel. Go out from this. Bring another one. As we go on, you will see father and mother who can be blamed for estrangement. Estrangement. That is emotional abandonment, physical abandonment, abandonment in relationship. You abandon your children because you have business. You are a businessman. You are a policeman. You are an army officer. Your business, your business doesn't allow you to be with your children. Your wife is working in one of the high offices. You abandon your children. You are not closer with them. Now, in abandoning your children, automatically you are given them certificate of orphanage. You may dwell with your children. You may train your children, you and your children may grow together, but at the end of the day, because you did not allow them to have your identity, you will give them the certificate of orphanage because they will behave like person or people that was not trained by father or by mother. There are so many benefits that you will enjoy. You will enjoy for seeing the identity. There are so many benefits. One of the benefits is that it will help them to mold their character. They will build confidence from what they learn from their parents. It will help them to boost their moral values. It will help them to be responsible. I don't think I will be irresponsible, whereby my father is responsible. This one is a replica of his father. You as a father, are you responsible? If your son is a replica of his father, it means your son is responsible. If you are irresponsible, then your son being a replica is that your son is irresponsible. So you as a parent that we are talking to, you must try to or struggle to be responsible. So that when your children, whenever you are planting something into your children, you plant responsibility. You plant value so that your children will be seen as, and if you are not responsible, please try to amend it. So, in conclusion, who can we blame when the identity of both parents are missing in a child? This comes to the end of the message. Who can we blame when the both parent identity is missing on their child? May God bless the teaching. I just cut it because of time. May God bless the teaching we have had in Jesus' name. Any question? Huh? Fine. This question is a multi-number question that parents should take home and solve it and bring it back. The conclusion is not to be answered on this platform. Have I made my points? Thank you, sir. Yes, any other question? Yeah? What is it?
Thank you for the teaching, the question going to the audience, all the women.
Yes.
It used to remind me of, it don't remind me of one of my lecturers. He finished some of behavior or relation, a question like that. I will always take it. Oh,
Let it fall.
yeah, but I think the implication of that for you to so that I have a lot of assignment. Now, this is my question. I'll take you back to the Abuja guy actually killed his father. If you look at that story, uh, I think the investigation there sometimes you say someone will do something, they will absorb themselves out of it that is not the one to be responsible. But if you look at that story according to the guy, he was trying to compare himself. This is the person that his father to manage an estate. I mean, at a very big estate, and the father gave him a car. I think it's challenging because the kind of car that some of his colleagues, some of his other people, friends are using. The father did not allow him to use that kind of car. And the kind of life that the other people, some of his friends are living, his father did not want him to live that kind of life. That is on the side of the father. The mother, who actually, who regarded as the person that actually killed the man, see that the way you can show the child that you love him is to give him like a liberal, enjoy your life, go sort of what I would regard as nonsense. You don't know something. Life is actually a place of responsibility, and the real enjoyment is for you to be able to impact positively the life of your life, the life of others. The question is this. This is within the brethren. How do we address such an issue? Because in our home, even part of the scripture then, the man will program, but every man wants a partner, one person that will take over
For him.
and
Yes.
projecting, doing everything possible. Why the mother or some mothers would like, I want to just show that I love you more than yourself, or love you more than any other person. And at the end of the day, it causes a lot of destruction. Even between Esau and Jacob, it was still the same issue that led to some of those crises. In Christianity now, what do you think we can do to actually stop that kind of wickedness? I regard that as wickedness, but that guy will be in prison. There's nothing anybody can do about it. There's nothing anybody can do about it. The boy is going to be in prison, but they will be held responsible as the person who actually served the man to death. Then, how in Christian food, how do we avoid or stop that kind of thing? Well, they want to see how in the job, Joseph committed an offense. Instead of Geoffrey to say, Joseph, this is wrong. That Geoffrey don't like the way it's not going to say that we committed this kind of offense. Automatically, it is anything passively. He said, I'm going behind you, continue to commit out. And for me, he will be looking at it that is wrong. That is not our Thank you.
Thank you very much. Permit me to sing in the Yoruba language. Ọmọ tó bá wà burúkú ní màmá ẹ̀ ló kọ́. Ọmọ tó bá wà burúkú tó jẹrẹrẹ ó ní bàbá ẹ̀ ló kọ́. Ayé tí mo wà yìí kò máa yẹ mi o. Now what they are trying to say, when a child is doing well, doing bad, they say na im mama na im teach am. In African context, in African understanding and emotion. And when a child is doing good, The father will claim, this is my child. That's why I put it here. Sometimes one of the parents blame the other one when the road is going negative. And when the road is going well, the father will claim. Now, the father will claim. Do you see the reason why the father claimed? As a young man, that was the point where I begin to understand that it's time for me to marry. I use my money the way how I struggle to get the money to tell my parents I want to marry. That means I want to make a home. Who is making that home? Now you want to make that home. And bringing that child, making that home, I want that home be the way I want it to be for me. Now bringing a woman, come and help me to make this home. She will drop her father's name and answer my name. And anything that will spoil in my father's name. Anything that will be good will be in my father's name. So I supposed to claim. When it's good, I will claim it's my own. When it's bad, I will go against the person who spoil my name. Because when my child do something outside that is wrong, and when police arrest him, they will announce my name on the social media, not the name of my father's family. Nobody will know. Now, on the other way around, if you remember, I said it's a profound teaching. It's a very deep emotional teaching concerning the relation between the father and mother, father and the children, or parents and children. It's a very complex relationship, very, very divine. Now, you will not remove a child from the mother because that umbilical cord physically joined them so close by physical investigation and physical psychology. Now, you as a father, you are struggling for something to maintain a good name. Now, what do you do? As I said before, God was closer with Christ up to the time he ascended to heaven. He did not abandon his flesh to be decayed in the grave. Sometimes I see you with your children. Sometimes you carry them go to school by yourself. Sometimes you bring them. You are trying to allow them to hear your order. There is what we call physics. If I carry my clothes, put it on the hanger, and then you carry one, put it on the hanger. They ask your children, close your eyes, go and pick your dad's cloth. They will smell it. If they go and put it in. If they smell you, they know the order of their father. They know the order of their father. I didn't say you are smelling it, but biologically they know the order of their. They will pick the cloth that belongs to their father without closing their eyes. Now, if you allow your name to be hijacked because of imbalanced home, the answer is we must struggle to balance our home. Balance your relationship with your wife. Every brother must balance his relationship with his spouse. So that you speak one word, you do one thing. I told you when my daughter, when she was small, I will beat her. If you run to her mama, go and reconcile with your daddy. That was what we planned. But then she will be crying. Mommy and daddy don't want to tell me sorry. Because he will run to me, I will not tell her sorry. He will run to the mother will not tell her sorry. She will see that these two people, they are saying one thing. She will then stay alone until you call her and tell her, this is why we beat you. Don't do that thing again. Until they grow, they will be within themselves. Mommy and daddy will not support you. Two of them, they will do it too. How will it start? By you balancing your home. Everybody should go home and balance his home. Have I answered your question? So, there are bottlenecks. Some women have stiff neck. Some men have stiff neck. It's hard to correct them. But remember, do not marry any woman you cannot control. Those that have not married. Any woman that cannot say sorry. After quarreling, don't marry her. That's what I say. Thank you very much. Okay. After you ask me, for me to answer that people question, oh yeah, have I answered your question? Thank you.
Thank you so very much for the efforts.
Thank you.
You've been teaching us. And my question is coming from the angle where you mentioned peer pressure. Because when we talk about primary boundary and secondary boundary,
Yes.
where you have some of the moral values or the moral principles.
You upload them.
Taught the children begin to be eroded. Now, you see, in our society today, some of our younger ones face a lot of pressure out there. When you meet your peers outside there, some of them smoking marijuana, they will tell you instead of calling it they're calling it high. Some of them in universities, mainly in prostitution, they call it hook-up. And most times, when you try to resist all those things, some of those values, you go from the church and the word of God. You begin to call you guy. Somebody who does not know anything. Now my question is this: are there some antidotes? Are there some guidelines that you have to give these our young ones to be able to resist this pressure and begin to maintain those values that they were taught at home or even from the church? That's my question.
Thank you.
What are the guidelines?
Okay.
What are the antidotes?
Yes.
For you and your people in Ayoko to keep on maintaining those principles, those moral values at the primary level, because at the secondary level, after the erosion, that is the consolidation. They begin to drop some of the things to our parent purpose and begin to incorporate some new values to themselves.
Yeah, I understand your question.
Yes.
I know where.
What will they do to be able to resist to new values?
Thank you very much for that question. Now, I'm going to respond in a way that you will understand the chronicle of the events that brought them to that stage. But I want to ask you a question to we parents. When was the last time you gathered your children for admonition in your home? Not church admonition. When did you gather your children around you to have meeting with them, no matter how small they are? When did you do that last? Okay. I bought my first Okada. Somebody paid me the money he was owing me. I saw one, what do they call it? That Jaguar. I bought it. When I got home, first of all, I want to tell you that your orientation of your home starts from your wife and you. If your wife doesn't value a little thing and put thank you very much for added point, you have problem. It's like when I come to your house, you give me tea, and upon taking that tea, you come and add more sugar on there and the honey into it. You have shown me more little kindness upon the kindness you gave me. You are kind by giving me tea. You come and put sugar and honey. You give me more little kindness upon the one you gave me. And I will thank you and put very much. Now I bought that Okada and took it home. My children saw that Okada as a Mercedes. Very powerful Mercedes. In the morning, my daughter, the other one, and my son, they were struggling to see the person that will be in front of that Jaguar. And my father, my wife will be happy that we are going to church with that Jaguar. So my wife will be happy And with time, he entered myself. We that devil was able to carry the whole family. We used to follow this mass burial. So one day we were coming, rain. There was a heavy rain, and the water covered that area. So our father fell inside that place. All our clothes and shoes carry water. So the Okada could not start again. So we push it. He couldn't walk. So we started dragging it from. My children started praying. Hey, God bless my daddy to buy motor. Even if it is old one, anyhow it look like. So that we will see rain will not beat us again. I had it, I kept quiet. Do you understand me? Now they value what I have, and they are praying for more. I have composed them the way I am, but I am not big. They should cut their demand according to my size. I bought Okada, and we are happy with that Okada. The day I managed to buy another tuke, before I do that, somebody bought Okada in my shop for me to buy. I asked that person to come tomorrow. In the night, I called them. They sat down and said, I want to buy another Okada. Which one? A Jaguar. One of them said, Daddy, no you they made Okada for. Why can't you leave Okada? We are praying for what you want to go and buy Okada again. See, they are trying to suggest for me. We are doing meeting. I'm trying to include them in the family. I thought to let them to see how we resolve issue. Not that I cannot go ahead and take the decision. Do they have the money for me? Now, I went out after 1 month and bought the other motor that I bought. Though I have already bought motor before burning it, Doma. And that motor I dropped it before I buy Okada. And they still embrace it. Now, what am I trying to put across to you? Now, the orientation started from the primary. When you fix your capacity and everything about you on them. When you let them know that you don't drink ogogoro, you don't take marijuana. When you begin to tell them you don't take nonsense, and begin to tell them the kind of sensible things you used to take. And by the time they go to secondary school, they begin to meet up with a peer. And when they go to university, you say after all, they are man, they are woman, they can live on their own. No! Let me use myself as an instance. I'm not trying to exaggerate or bring myself before you people. One of my own that is there, even when the other one was there. Early morning I called them, how do you feel? How are you? What's the problem? What's the problem? If you have a female child, if you ask you 10 naira, give her 15 naira. The reason is that thing that would deceive her to go extra length. She will say, my daddy can give me. If I ask 10 naira, my daddy will give me 15 naira. What's the sense of doing that? Have you seen it? Now you mother must surely call your daughter. Where are you? What are you doing? What's the problem? Are you well at all? And your child, you must surely call him and let him understand. When I was in secondary school, we used to do what we call brainstorming. In those days, school would be like secondary school would be like university. Sometimes when we go to brainstorming in the field, you see people that buy road map, dancing, St. Maurice, and the marijuana. They will be removing the seed. They told us what they use. They can use the seed to cook rice and so many other things. And when I come, they used, my name was there. My nickname there was talented. That's what they used to call me. Talented. We have this thing here. They will be rolling it. I come from another thing, but marijuana is there. If you want, that is your choice. I did not take it for 1 day. That is why I don't know the taste of smoke. I didn't go with it. Even when we were learning karate. Our karate master used to bring palm wine and some other thing and the order to chat. I didn't put it in my because my father doesn't take it. My father doesn't take it. Even there was a day a friend will give me small stout at first time. I said I don't want to drink. No, he said drink you. The job you gave me, I bought motor from it. Drink, I will. If it is cold, it will not disturb you. When I managed to take it, before I reach my house here, my wife told me your mouth is smelling. You have started drinking. I felt ashamed of myself. God of mercy. But she did not marry me with such odor that is coming from my mouth. So what I'm trying to put across to you is that For the peer, the kind of television they watch, some of them buy tablet. When they are partying, they buy tablet for them. They will be carrying phone, even in the kitchen. Your daughter cannot go and meet her mother in the kitchen. She will be at the parlor.